Hello, thanks for tuning in. It's Stuart here, Classical Record Collector. Now, I made a video a couple of days ago and I had a bit of bad luck with buying on eBay. Some records which I bought came from a collection that it seems are virtually all noisy. So I reported this to the seller and I managed to get a 50% refund on the assumption that when I cleaned the records they would be perfectly okay. I did clean them, and unfortunately they were still noisy. So they were of the type of noise that I would say that these records are virtually useless to me, and I wouldn't expect anybody else to listen to them either. So that was quite a bitter pill for me to swallow. Now, some of you made comments in response to this that you've got ultrasound cleaners and you bet that you could actually cure these records. Maybe that's the case. You know what my method is. I've got a cleaner which I use. It's a spray which is intended for cleaning the insides of a car. However, I've found it to be very effective with records, but with these records I didn't really have much luck. But I decided to go back to my method but intensify it. So normally what I do with this cleaner is I spray it and then I use a sponge on it to work it in, and then I spray the other side of the record and I work in the cleaner, and then I rinse off effectively, let the record dry and play it, and virtually every single time it's fine. So I decided to intensify the process just to really give it a good go. So how did I intensify the process? Okay, well, I used more cleaning solution, I used more spray, I increased the amount, I let it soak in for much longer, and I spent a lot more time working it in with a sponge. So I intensified it significantly and took a lot more time over it. Then what I did was I washed it off with tap water, and then I used water that had been filtered twice, not once but twice. So yeah, I'd love to use deionized water, but at £5 for 5 litres it can be quite expensive when you start cleaning these records. So I decided to use water that had been filtered twice, and I believe that by filtering it twice you remove more of the minerals, so you're going to get fewer residue on the record. Now, to back this up, because normally what I do is once I've rinsed the record I then leave it to dry. I try and shake the record off and leave it to dry. Just a minute. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, just a police car going past my flat. Yeah, so normally what I do is I leave it to dry, so all those little drops of water they evaporate, and of course if there are any minerals, if there's any residue there, it's going to be left on the record. And I have had this problem, actually I've even had it using deionized water, oddly enough. I bought some from Halfords, and amazingly I still got some residue even from deionized water. Well, I found a solution to this. What I do is, once I've rinsed off, I then place the record somewhere where it sits so that the labeled part is sitting on something and nothing's touching the underneath of the record. I then take tissue paper and I very gently just let the tissue paper fall onto the record and soak up the water, and I kind of move it along and then take that off and get another fresh piece, and I absorb very carefully all of the water that's sitting on top of the record very patiently, flip it over, do it again until all the water's gone, virtually all the water's gone, and then I let it sit for a little while, mainly to allow the water in the center label to dry off fully, and then I play it. Yeah, so that's my intense new method of cleaning records. So we're going to listen now to clip A, which is before, and clip B after, and see if you can spot the difference. Okay, there we are. Well, I think you'd have to agree that that's definitely an improvement. It's not 100% perfect, but you know, it's now acceptable. It's fully acceptable, and I've listened to both sides. I've cleaned the record, both sides, and I've cleaned the other record as well, and they both play to that standard all the way through. I've listened to the whole lot, and I must say, if you don't know Brahms string quartets, they're magnificent works. I do recommend them. I've got quite, I suppose, narrow taste for string quartets. For me, it's about Haydn, Mozart, Schubert, Brahms, and I'm still discovering, of course, but those for me are the big ones. Yes, I've left out Beethoven. You know, for me, with Beethoven string quartets, it's exactly the same as me with Brahms solo piano. I'm almost deaf to Brahms solo piano as much as I am Beethoven string quartets. I don't know what it is about me, but I just can't get into them. So there's time for me yet, of course. And okay, so I've been out. I bought a few today locally. There's a local shop that I go to frequently, several times a week, just to see what there is. They've got about 1,000 records, and they're in a real muddle. I decided to spend a bit of time going through them because they come in and the staff just put them in, and I mean, it could be anywhere. There's nowhere where they put new arrivals. So I took my chances and I had a look. So let me just show you what I got. So I've got this. It's a 10-inch record. It's a Romanian record, and really, I don't know, it's George Enescu pieces, Romanian Rhapsodies number 1 and 2. They're orchestral, it's mono, but this looked to me sort of unusual enough to buy it, so I've gone ahead and bought it. It's in pretty good condition. It looks like a sort of 1960s record. It's obviously a rarity, well, at least it is here, and I don't know the music. What the heck, for £1 I decided to buy it. Here's another one. These are all £1, by the way, 5 for £5. And this one is actually quite interesting because it looks to me like it's a piano museum, and they've made recordings of professional pianists playing repertoire on some of these historical pianos, something which I find really interesting. And I see this is volume 6, so this is the kind of thing I would like to collect the whole lot. I'll probably have a look now on Discogs and eBay to see if I can get the others, but it looks really interesting. So here we are. We've got, let's just see what the pieces are. I mean, so yeah, we've got a couple of Broadwoods here, London 1805 and 1806. Broadwood was a famous piano brand in the 19th century. So we've got, what have we got? Side A, we've got the last sonata for violin and piano. So yeah, there's, okay, that's interesting. And we've got quartet in G major for violin, viola, cello and forte piano. And then we've got a leader with C.P. Bach for tenor, keyboard, accompaniment and viola da gamba. Some really interesting pieces on these actually. So it's not just solo piano. And then we've got finally a trio in F major for harpsichord, violin and cello. Schubert. Sorry, not Schubert. Johann Schubert died 1767. So that's going to be Baroque, isn't it? Yeah. So really interesting. Does anybody know about this collection? It's on the Oryx label. I would absolutely love to have all of these. Wow. I mean, yeah, can't wait to have a listen to this. Actually, it's in the wrong sleeve. It's in an EMI sleeve, but that doesn't matter really, does it? There's the, you know, I mean, when you find something like this in a charity shop, you know it's going to be in good condition, don't you? You know it's going to be in good condition. Something sort of worthless but interesting. It's got to be in good condition, and it is. There are no scratches on it. Here we are, Oryx Collector's Series. I'm not too sure where this was made, but it's stereo and it looks really good. This is one of the fantastic things about collecting records. You know, you're all out there streaming. Well, not all of you, but you know what I mean. I mean, the most classical people now, they're out there streaming, they're on whatever platform. I mean, when are they going to see something like this? when are they going to get the excitement of finding something like that in a shop? And you'll never see that on any of the streaming services. So yeah, we got a fairly common EMI here. You know, for £1 I thought I'd have it. The Beethoven Triple Concerto with 3 great soloists, of course, and Karajan as well. Great work, actually. A lot of people don't like the Triple Concerto. I really like it. So there's a really good picture on the back as well of Karajan conducting the orchestra. Okay, Kiri Tikhanova. I've seen this one in that shop, the same shop. This has been there for months, and I finally bought it. The reason I bought it is because the records are either £2 each or 5 for £5 at £1 each. I had 4, I had to make up a 5th, and this was it. I'm sure it's beautiful, and it's in great condition as well. So there we are, Kiri Tikhanova, Chants d'Auvergne. Okay, that's with Jeffrey Tate conducting. Finally, another unusual record, which is worth nothing, but it doesn't matter. That's the great thing about collecting, that this can have a book value of just a few pounds, but I can still find it really interesting to have. So it's on Vox. It's the Bochum Orchestra with Ottmar Marger conducting. There he is on the back. I've got no idea who he is. Recorded in 1973, and it says here Dolby system. Can you see? Sorry, can you see there? Dolby. Yeah, Dolby noise reduction. Vox, American pressing, and it's Tchaikovsky. Actually unusual works. The Storm Overture, Fatum, Opus 77, whatever that is, and then the Voda. Well, Voda in Russian is water. So yeah, that's a symphonic ballad. The Storm is an overture. Fatum is a symphonic poem. I don't know any of these works, so that's going to be really interesting to discover. Yeah. So I don't know what you guys think of my modest haul today, but I'm certainly quite pleased with this small collection which I bought today. Let's have a look at the label on this, and yeah, this one's in good condition as well, because I always generally find that if it's worth nothing, like this one, but it's kind of unusual, invariably it's in excellent condition. So great. It's quite a nice little buying expedition. I must say I picked out about a dozen, and 7 of them were not in good condition, but they weren't. But fortunately, the most interesting ones are here. This one and that one with the Piano Museum recordings. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for your support, and look forward to your comments on those clips that I played. So I need to clean the others. Maybe I was just lucky with the Brahms. It came from the same collection. I've got the 2 Beethoven Francescatti records to try and clean again. I'm not so confident about those, but I'll give you some feedback on them. Bye for now.